the core activities that IEBC does through the exchequer funds, and then differentiate the activities that they do from the donors, and then give the reasons.
Well, first of all, I think it's good to note the fact that the mandate of the IEBC, as defined by Article 88, clearly spells out, enunciates, the place of the IEBC, and one of which, of course, is to conduct, elections, registration of voters, dispute resolution as a key mandate. Of course, conduct the elections. I suppose I've mentioned that. And so, and of course, civic education. And so the funding, of course, is informed by these vote heads, actually. So every budgets are basically structured within what the activities undertaken by the IEBC. I see a situation where many a times, particularly as regards civic education, we tend to have a lot of foreign funding, particularly on activities such as, in civic education, through the civil society groups, etc. Many a times these has a component of foreign donations.
That is very good. Now, please tell this panel and the Kenyans who are watching your understanding of the difference between civic education and voter education, and which one of them impacts to the rejected ballot.
Well, I think civic education is more broader. Basically, is more broader and basically bringing the public or individuals up to speed and conscientizing, the public as to the importance of their rights as voters and as well as citizens. On the other hand, the civic education of the voter is best circumscribed to, or targeted towards, individuals who are going to participate in the electoral exercise. And so civic education is more broader in this context.
I want to repeat my question.
Yes.
You want to distinguish between civic education and voter education, and which one of them impacts on the rejected ballot?
How each?
Which one of them has an impact on the rejected ballots or spoiled ballots?
I think what you intend to say, Ms. Hardy, is as to the impact of the voter education and how this would impact on the accuracy of the voter, when he goes to the polling station, and as to whether these individuals who have undergone this process are able to, to make use of the knowledge impacted on them in order to make the right decisions.
Ambassador, which one of the two has an impact on the rejected ballot between civic and voter education?
It's voter education.
Thanks so much, Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Professor. I wish you well.
Appreciate it.
I welcome Fatuma Saman to ask some questions. Please, Fatuma. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Ambassador Magut, during the submissions from the public to the Kriegler Commission, they revealed that political parties were seen to be poorly organized, undemocratic, and lacking in transparency, especially during party nominations. So if you become a member of the IEBC, how do you think IEBC can strengthen the internal democracies of political parties and ensure they contribute positively to the integrity of the election process?
First, I think the Political Parties Act is very clear on the nature of, as far as how the political parties ought to conduct themselves, and the structure, the character of political parties, and of course the requirements of the political parties in as far as electoral process is concerned. But you're right. I think we have had situations where political parties have been questioned first. We have seen situations where individuals own political parties in this country, literally, so that then upon the exit of individuals, the political parties tend to collapse therein. And so I think that is one area that we really need personalization of political parties, which basically impinges on the growth of democracy in the country. And that is why we've had political party shades of political parties coming up every other day. But when individuals, the so-called bigwigs, exit these entities, they literally tend to collapse. So I think the starting point is to have robust, intra-party democracy, robust internal democracy within the parties themselves, and I think, and the funding, basically, that goes to operationalize the activities of the political parties. The role of the IEBC is to have continuous engagement with these entities. And of course, in a bid to build up, so that they basically maintain and operate within the frameworks of the law. I think stakeholder engagement in this regard, the management of the IEBC should constantly engage with the political parties and point out areas, gaps that needs to be addressed at any other time, if it's about a dispute resolution, nomination of candidates, etc., and how they can be brought up to speed so as to to have robust internal democracy.
The IEBC has an engagement structure and strategy, and the Political Parties Act has always existed. So what is it that as a member you'll bring on board to now help improve this? Something tangible that will be reform-based, will be a change and new to the Commission.
Well, I think without really waxing the highlights of a donkey, I think it's key to know the fact that the law is very clear. If the political parties operate within the strictures of the law, then you don't really have to fuss about it, so to speak. I mean, but I think there's a need for for internal democracy, for the commissioners to push for internal democracy within the political parties by constantly engaging these entities. I think basically I should have answered. The place of the law, I think, is very clear, and I think that should be the overriding force, that if all of us are strict and punctilious of law, then you don't really have to, If all of us operate within the strictures of the law, including political entities such as political parties, And I think, the electoral process should be guaranteed and safeguarded as such within the checklists of the law and the Constitution.
Thank you very much. I want to ask Nicodemus also to ask some questions.
Balozi,
Yes.
I'm sure you have voted several times before. How many times have you voted?
Like 3-4 times.